Come on into the room, be coachable, teachable, trainable, and post your city and state so that we can see where this value is reaching out into these internet streets. My name is Brand Master Martina Britt Yelverton, and today we are actually going to discuss Whew, literally. And I laugh because people really don't believe this, but let me make it plain. Be the brand that they trust, not the one that they continue to scroll past, right? So if your posts are not currently converting, comments are dry, and nobody's reaching out, then it's probably not your content, it's your connection. In this session, you're going to learn how to position your personal brand in a way that's magnetic, okay, that's trustworthy, and that will scroll stop. People stop for value. They don't stop for noise. They stop for relatability. They stop for authenticity. This is not about being flashy. It's about being real and building real trust. You guys know that is the topic of week 2, to build trust before you sell. So if you're wanting to learn how to build trust, then today is the day for you. We're going to talk about why your content is not getting the stops. It's getting the scroll past. How to infuse trust building energy into your visuals, into your videos, and into your post, ultimately into your value, right? And the difference between showing up as a brand of a service versus a brand of sales. Our job here, whether you believe it or not, is to please God and serve his people, right? This will make a huge difference in your brand instantly, because those who actually follow and understand and subscribe to this principle will relate to you and you will become magnetic. Okay. So the cat's out the bag. You need to build a brand of service, not a brand of sales. Trust isn't built through perfection. It's built through your presence. Okay. So here in day 2 of this week, where we're learning how to build trust before you sell, let me ask you a question. Have you ever spent time on a post, maybe even used a trending sound like threw in a CTA, still got zero engagement? Have you done these things and still are getting zero engagement? Well, that's because people scroll past content that feels generic. However, they will stop for value, they will stop for relatability, and again, they will stop for authenticity. I'm going to show you how to position yourself as a trustworthy brand. And this is the kind that people will stop, save, and eventually buy from. Okay. So we're going to go through about 4 points today. Hope you have your pen and pad ready so that you can get this valuable information and that you will actually implement it, not just hear it. Right? You will actually pay attention and you will begin to implement some of these key points. So here in point 1, why people scroll past you. You sound like everyone else. Your quotes are the same as everyone else's, your flyers, the hey y'all post, and I am guilty of a hey y'all post. However, that is actually my authentic twang. That is actually how I show up real. So while other people, may be copying the right cat, luckily and blessedly, it is actually who I am. I am just that country, okay? Your content isn't speaking to a person, it's speaking to a platform. That could be another reason that they're scrolling past you, and you're posting to check a box. You're actually not posting to connect with intention. Generally, when you guys are seeing me on here, I have began since the beginning of this year to put out the value content that I actually work with within my branding agency with my clients, because it actually works. This is what the people need. So this is what I show up and give. And I tell the real, true situations that actually impact businesses and brands. I'm not telling you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what you need to hear. And in this point, you're sounding like everyone else. Your content is not speaking to a person, it's speaking to the platform. And you're checking off boxes versus being real and authentic and trying to intentionally connect with people. So let's move into point 2. When you can shift from noise to trust, how do you do that? Okay, today we're faceless. You don't like to show your face. So, a lot of what I'm showing you guys right now is for the people who don't like to show their face, right? Okay, use your voice. When you have to, use your voice to drive home the points. Use visuals, use graphics. Make yourself presentable and visible to the people, even if you're having to temporarily be faceless. Okay, you can actually tell a micro story. And if you don't know what a micro story is, that's one moment in time that actually changed you, or one mistake that you learned from, one hiccup you overcame, one pivot you had to make. Like, let me explain to you the pivot that we're actually making right now in this second quarter. Not only are we building upon the foundations that we learned in quarter one, we're actually showing you why you have to make the pivot that we're making, why you have to build the trust before you sell to people, why you have to go through a period of awareness before you move into a period of connection or engagement. Why these things have to be done so that it will resonate with you, and you can have the aha moment that says, hey, you know what? She's speaking to me. That is exactly true. I probably have been on here spam selling versus making sure I am intentionally serving or intentionally delivering value or intentionally targeting that one particular person that I know I can solve their problem, right? When you actually shift from serving to a platform to actually serving a person, that is where the connection comes in. So, right now, instead of just telling you guys you need a brand, I'm making sure that you understand you already are the brand. You already have the brand. You may just not be using it correctly. You may not have it positioned correctly. You may not have it structured correctly. Ask me how I know. Okay. These are the things that you can do to shift from noise to trust. And you can make your captions that you put on your posts or your graphics feel like conversations, not declarations. So I'm telling you guys, in the caption that you see on the screen in week 2, we're talking about building trust before you sell. That's a conversation piece. When you become the brand that they trust, then you can actually see that this will actually stop the scroll. Again, that's a conversation piece. All right. Let's move into point number 3. Post for connection, not conversion. So if we're not trying to convert you right now, understand we're just trying to connect. When you're doing this posting, here's a question you could ask yourself to see if you're posting for connection or if you're posting for conversion. Ask yourself, would I stop for this? Would I scroll past? Would I look and see different words that are on the screen? Let's pull up a couple of more to show you. Would I stop when I see this caption that says nobody buys from strangers? Yes, because I'd want to know, well, exactly who do people buy from? Because there are lots of people online that are strangers that you don't know. And then I see build trust first. True. I would want to build trust with an individual. I would want to Google them, research them, find out more about them. I would want to see their track history to determine whether or not I would work with them. Yeah, I would stop for that. If I see a caption that says, hey, your brand story builds more trust than your business name ever will. Would I stop for that? Yes. So ask yourself, when you see different posts, would you stop for this? Why? Because if you're thinking about yourself and where you have recently overcome or you have elevated from, then you're actually talking to your old self. I teach this inside of the membership, the Brand You membership, the Dollar Deals membership, to people who need to understand that, again, when you overcome something, your ideal client, your ideal person is what you just overcame. That individual that's having that issue, that's the ideal person that you can help instantly because you just did it. You just solved something. And whoever is in the position you were just in is the person that needs your help. Okay? Use first person real life language. So when I'm talking to you guys, I'm also talking to myself in this situation so that I can get you to understand I'm not talking abstractly. I've done this. I've gone through this. I've been in the hiccup. I've gone through certain things. I've gone through marriage and miscarriage. I've gone through divorce. I've gone through death. I've gone through being in the welfare system, eviction, domestic violence. I've gone through all of these things, so I know exactly where you are. Now, the depth of your situation could be far greater or far lighter than mine was. But because I know your plight and I know where you are, I am able to relate to you. And I'm transparent about that. It's real life situations that are happening. And I want you to know that there's someone here down in the pit of something with you on my way up. And I want to show you how we can make a step together. That's real life language. That's real life situations that are going on right now. And when you stop pitching and start positioning through relatability and honesty, then you will be able to bring people along this journey with you who are poised and positioned to make the trek with you, who won't fight you along the way, who won't dump water into the boat you guys are trying to stay afloat in. Okay? Pay attention to that. Ask yourself those questions and think about how you're actually speaking to your audience to determine if you're actually utilizing first person language and real life situation languages. Don't speak above your customer or clients or prospects' head to sound better or greater or more informed. Relate to them and speak to them on the level, meet them where they are so that you guys can make this journey together. And finally, in point 4, creating a scroll stopping trust content piece. Here is the creme de la creme, as they say. When you post your why, those who have a similar why will stop. That's the first thing that you can do. Why am I delivering this brand value? Guys, because some of y'all just don't know. And I'm trying to make sure you do know. Why? Because there are people who have known and didn't tell me. So I want to make sure I'm trying to help you guys overcome issues that I didn't know about to help your journey. My ultimate goal may be to leave a legacy, but my ultimate goal is to ensure that I help you guys not fall into the same pitfalls, pit holes, ditches that I fell into. Now, maybe that will help you grind harder to come up out of it, but it would have been nice if I would have been able to avoid, in my opinion, just the depths of some of the speed bumps and things that I went through. So that's one of the reasons I want to help you avoid some of those so that you can move along this journey even a little bit more quickly than I did, right? Another thing that you can do is use I used to storytelling hooks, meaning I used to only put a plan together for a small period of time. And when that plan was through and over with, I would be back to willy-nilly, and I would be back to chaos and confusion. I would be back to not knowing what to deliver, what to talk about, how to serve. And I would have to go back down into the grind of what's next? What am I supposed to talk about? What am I supposed to do? That is an I used to story. Now I make sure that every single time I open my eyes, beyond saying, thank you, Lord, for allowing me another opportunity to continue to be insane, mobile, and breathing. But I also am grateful to know what I am already structured and set up to do to serve for the people for that day. I don't have to worry about the chaos with regards to my value give for that day. Now I can focus on something else. It's not frustration. It's even if it's last minute jumping on to deliver the value, I've already created the plan. I already know what I'm here and why I'm here, and I'm already intentional about the information that I'm giving you guys. You need to create that in all poignant areas of your life, in all areas where you know you are meant to give, to serve, and you need organization, and you need a plan, and you need to put things together, and you need to not freak out and go chaotic in the moment. You need to put a plan together for each area of your life. So right now we're in tax season. Not only am I gathering some of the things that I missed from previous years, but because I have a spreadsheet that I use, it was so much easier this year than it was last year and the year before that, because each year I make sure I customize and I organize even better the spreadsheet, allowing me to put together taxes and tax information for the entire family. But beyond that, you know what it also does? It allows, in the event that something should happen to me, there is a spreadsheet for my son to know what it was I was doing, how to access everything, my daughter to know what it is, what she's supposed to release to clients. There is videos that are being created. So in the event something happens to me, my clients get automatic access to this video archive that tells them exactly what they need to do and who they need to hire to fill the position to carry their brand forward. Again, when you put an organization in place, each time you come upon a situation, you just follow your plan, right? It makes your life so much simpler. And when you hit a snag, and when you hit a downtime, and when you hit a pocket of depression, when you're going through something, the rest of your life doesn't fall apart. You're available to fall apart in your quiet space without the rest of your life falling apart as well. Okay. Now, I know that sounds really crazy, but that's actually how I operate and run my life. But jumping back on task, okay, with point number 4, being consistent, not necessarily being perfect. Consistency builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. Pay attention to how you're doing something consistently, and you will notice if you continue to do that every time you pop in and out of that activity, it seems like it's easier and easier because you're familiar with the bones and the processes and the operation and the organization of the way that goes. So every time you do it, it feels more simplistic each and every time. That builds trust. So imagine knowing that you have a plan of action for every particular area of your life so that each time you jump into and out of it, it feels familiar. Now imagine that happening for the client or the customer or the prospects that is watching you, that's learning from you, that's gleaning from your valuable information. So before I go, I always get into some objections and how we can reframe some of the thinking that you have to help you guys along this journey. The first thing you're probably thinking is, I don't know what to say. Okay, I'll tell you guys this repeatedly. Talk to one person. Say what that one person needs to hear, not what the algorithm needs to hear, not what the platform needs to hear, but what that one person needs to hear. And the one thing you need to hear right now is you are valuable. You are here. You are primed and positioned for a time such as this. You cannot fail until you quit. So as long as you are sane, mobile, and breathing, you have an opportunity to do it again, no matter your age. To you who are listening to this information, you are primed and positioned for a time such as this, even with all the crazy going on in the world. You can do this. You got this. We got this together. So when you don't know what to say, speak to that one person, and I'm speaking to you. You got this. You may be also saying, I don't want to be on camera. I'm not on camera today. I'm not on camera all week. I'm currently going through something. But there is no way I'm going to allow what we're going through as a family during this loss to impede the value that I am positioned to serve and to give you. We all have a gifting. There is no way the grief that we're going through should impact the gifting that I'm here to serve you with. People don't connect with logos or colors or fonts. They connect with other people. So start where you are. Serve where you are to give them the solution for where they are. And a third objection that you may have is, I've tried being personal before and no one responded. Guys, they're watching even if they're not liking. They're watching even if they're not commenting. They're watching even if they're not sharing. Just keep going. Again, trust is built over time. How do I know? I'm going to pull up and share screen here. Something that I just jumped on and saw tonight. And let's see if I can get this screen shared for you guys so I can show you some of the statistics here before we go. Because it was kind of mind-blowing for me to pop on and see this. So let's see here. Do I have it to the stage? Okie dokie. So let's go down and look at what these shorts have looked like for some time. Do you guys see some of these numbers? I'm going to go all the way back to, maybe about mid-April. Not mid-April, good gracious, mid-February. You see these views? 23, 2, 1, 6, 14, 3, 1, 20, 1, 20, 39. A shocker. 300. I have no idea where that came from. Okay. 26, 130, 182, 42, 10, 422. Didn't know that one was there. Okay. 14, 14, 31, 4, 1, 21, 2. Do you all see all these? But I kept consistent. 14, 41, 3, 13. But I kept consistent. 4, 19, 16, 27, 75. But I kept consistent. 296, 32, 45. But I kept consistent. 282, 291, 155, 233. And I kept consistent. 48, 341, 123. Yesterday, 719, 331. Now, I'm not saying this is going to consistently continue. I'm not saying this is going to keep going. But what I am saying is, wow. Even though comments are not being left, people are watching. Let's head over to TikTok really quickly. These numbers have been fluctuating. They have been much, much higher when I include influencers in my videos. But people are still watching on TikTok. Happy for it. Let's check out Instagram, which seriously has been surprising me. 7, 49, 111, 108. People are watching. Keep going. People are watching. Okay? So I want to make sure that I'm helping you guys to understand the importance of that, because someone somewhere is waiting on you to do what you were purposed and passionate to do so that they can see that they can too. So what's one story or truth that you can share this week to make your brand more relatable? I'll go first. One thing that I'm noticing, and I'll continue to say this as I close out each call, the economy is ripping us to shreds right now. The person in office right now doesn't have everyone's best interest. But when you see a pattern like this happening, you really need to take the opportunity to see and say, what does this mean for me specifically? For me, for a business and a brand, what it means is the pivot that we have to make in helping people understand why personal branding is so important is that, number one, you do need to understand that personal branding is extremely important. It's crucial. And it's crucial not only to small business, but it's crucial to you as an individual to have the right mindset to be able to make it through everything that's going on. But as a business, because that's what we're here to talk about. But as a business, your personal brand needs to be built on a solid foundation, and it needs to be built on a solid foundation that is strong enough that it garners the attention of small businesses, corporations, and governments. Why? Because small business is generated by income that comes from a W-2 job. That's just the truth about it. When you guys are in these MLM companies and you're doing network marketing and affiliate marketing and all that, the people who are buying from these small products and services are people who have jobs. If jobs go away, then that means the income of the MLM, the network marketing, the affiliates, that money goes away. Those customers go away because their job went away, which is where they were actually getting the funds to pay for the products and services that are within these brands. But if your personal brand is built strong enough with a solid foundation that it garners the attention of small businesses, corporations, and government entities, you will not lack for income. Please pay attention to that and let that land. So, to wrap today and to recap, people are scrolling, but are they stopping for you? You don't need to be flashy, you need to be authentic. You can show your visuals, you can be faceless. Use your voice to tell the truth and build a brand that people recognize and trust. And I like to add, and make sure it's foundationally strong enough that it can garner the attention of small businesses, corporations, and government entities as well. Okay? So I would hope that you have found information, the information that I'm giving on today, to be of value. My hope is that you will take the opportunity to answer today's question, which is, what is one story of truth that you can share this week to make your brand more relatable? And my story is paying attention to your personal branding and the strength of your personal branding. And if there are pivots and adjustments and enhancement that you need to make, I would love to invite you to come into our free Brand You community, where you are available to ask your burning business questions. Now, today, due to a conflict and being on the road today, we will not have after office hours on today. We will have after office hours again on Thursday. Let me make sure I update this before I put it up on the screen. We will not have after office hours today, Wednesday, but we will be back in the office on Thursday. I was saying that I want you guys to join us in the Learn, Lead, and Level Up community, right? So that you can get access to the link to be able to ask your burning brand or business questions. My name is Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton, and I hope you have found some sense of value in the information that I have shared today about your specific brand. I need for you guys to really understand that when you become the brand that they trust, they'll stop scrolling. They'll dial in. They will engage with you, and then you will be able to serve them, right? It's not about conversions. It's about connections. Thank you for your time on today. And I look forward to talking with you on tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're actually going to be talking about your brand story builds more trust than your business name ever will. And that is going to be a pivot that you guys need to make. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey y'all, hey, Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton here, updating you about our daily live training and follow-up live open office hours. Join me every Tuesday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for live actionable lessons on building your brand from scratch. We'll cover everything from tools, strategies, and systems like Canva, StreamYard, Go High Level, AI technology, and more, to include the exact steps to take you from confused to confident. And the best part is, after each live stream, you can hop on Zoom with us to ask your questions and get personalized answers. Don't miss out. Mark your calendar and subscribe now to this YouTube channel. Join our free community, and I'll say it louder for the people in the back. If you want to learn, lead, and level up your automation in your MLM company, or as an entrepreneur who could possibly be struggling in your business, we not only have the solution, we also have the experts. Yes, this is your sign to join us. Our entire team is live each weekday. So if you snooze, you will lose. I said what I said. You heard what you heard. Now do what you now know you need to do to get your assets in order.